Mr. Goodrich is going to do, please. Okay. Mr. Silverthorne is here on which matter?
Just so you know, he said he's ready.
Okay, sounds good. Austin, and was it LeBron's are going to continue?
Yeah. They were here.
Okay, what about Lewis? No? Henry?
They are all on Zoom, I believe. She's here next. George Brown.
Oh, you say answer our turn. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Marie Ann Henry, file number 23-02215, council appearance.
Good morning, LaDonna Logan on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. George Brown on behalf of Henry, who sits to my left in my office.
And for the record, Lauren Dixon representing Miss Henry as well, Your Honor, as co-counsel.
Thank you. Today's the date and the time set for a probable cause conference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 counts. This matter is set for preliminary examination. It's going to be August 10th, 2023 at 1:30. Are we continuing to examination on this?
Your Honor, I've spoken with the Assistant Attorney General. There's a voluminous amount of discovery that was turned over that we're going through. We are still requesting an exam, but although we're asking for an adjournment of that exam, the Attorney General's office and we agree that October 10th, that week of October 10th would work if it would work for the court.
Okay, did you discuss with your client the right to have the examination within 21 days?
Yes, Your Honor, and she chooses to waive that right.
Okay, Miss Henry, is that accurate?
It is accurate, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody threatening you or making any promises to you to get you to waive the timeline?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. So what we'll do is we'll reset that. You're saying the week of October 10th?
Yes, Your Honor, and I believe we're talking about setting for the exam.
Correct. And are we running these as co-defendant examinations?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't anticipate we'll be able to do all 16 in one exam.
Okay. I see at least one other on this docket today. And I'm assuming they will need an adjournment as well. What are we doing October? The week of October 10th. The week of October 10th. It could be on a PCC day. It's gonna probably take some time, so
Our PCC is on the same day.
take kill the civil day. Put that on the 12th?
Yeah.
October 12th at 8:30?
That will work for the people, Your Honor.
And for the defense.
Okay, very good. Any additional matters for the record at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for permission for Ms. Henry to travel with her husband to Eugene, Oregon from September 8th to the 28th. I've also discussed that with the Attorney General's office. It's my understanding they don't have any objection.
That's correct.
This trip was pre-planned to visit family.
October, you said. 12 at 8:30. Okay, I do see a note here from Magistrate Milmore at the time of arraignment. It looks like she granted permission for a trip to Massachusetts. I see trip to Eugene, Oregon, September 8th through September 28th. That's accurate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's permission to travel during that time frame to Eugene, Oregon is granted.
Thank you, Judge.
The bond conditions will continue. Any additional matters for the record?
None for the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
None from us, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who's in the waiting room? Who's in the waiting room? On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Frank Stevens, file number 22-03370, counsel appearance.
Morning, Judge. May it please the court, Richmond M. Riggs, P33863. I'm an assistant attorney general. I appear on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan.
Good morning, Your Honor. Luann Lemmerman, Assistant Attorney General, also for the people.
Attorney Don Passenger, P39384, along with Mr. Muthart for Frank Stevens.
John Muthart, Your Honor, for Mr. Stevens.
Very good. Okay, so today was the date that we reset the probable cause conference. And this matter is scheduled, I believe, to go to an exam. Actually, we said we'd schedule the exam for October 3rd at 8:30. Are we still gonna go with that date?
I think not, if possible, Your Honor. We would like 30 days to complete filing of some motions, and then hearing set on that. Also, Mr. Stevens is going to be incapacitated for a period of time commencing on August 30th, so he would not be able to participate personally in an October 3rd hearing. So we would ask that we reset a hearing perhaps in early November and allow some motion practice in the meantime.
Yeah, I don't think that November is a very good idea because
Well, I don't think,
I've got a granddaughter being born in Nashville in November, and I'm going to be there for that. So
yeah, I mean, perhaps
Okay,
go ahead.
My question or concern, I guess, is your client's gonna be incapacitated in August for 30 days?
No, for about 15 months, Your Honor.
You said for 15 months?
Correct. And so we're going to address that issue. So I was simply thinking of giving a date that gave us time to react to that and perhaps even resolve it once we get the motion practice in.
Okay, and then Mr. Muhart, you say you're not available in November? You're muted, sir.
that's correct, Your Honor.
Yeah, I was thinking,
November does not. Mr. Passenger would, to be fair, was unaware of that, but yeah, I've got a firm commitment. I've got to be in Nashville, Tennessee that week.
Okay.
Some
sounds
point
good.
during November. I mean, you know how pregnancies are. It's difficult to predict exactly when, but that's the estimated time of arrival, if you will.
Okay, so are you looking for a date in December, or I'm not sure what you're asking for, Mr. Muhart?
that would be fine with me. And I think it's probably a control date. And if we really are going to arrange to have Mr. Stevens appear, probably December makes more sense anyway. So there's time to react. I'd throw it over to Mr. Riggs for comment if he wishes.
Okay. Any objection from the prosecution to moving this out till December as a control date or an
No, it's-
exhibit?
That would be fine, Judge. We have discussed the necessity for that.
December 1st at 1:30.
And judges, my understanding is the court scheduling the PCC for December 1st at 1:30? Or is the exam for December 1st at 1:30?
I'm setting the exam for December 1st at 1:30. My understanding is that you all are going to do some motion practice in between that time.
That's when. Sorry,
If for some reason another probable cause conference becomes necessary, we can address it at that time.
That sounds good.
Thank you. And were we at 8:30 that morning, Your Honor?
1:30.
Sorry, at 1:30 PM.
1:30, thank you.
No
If this runs, it probably will go for an extended period, I would think, Your Honor, for whatever that's worth.
Could you repeat what you stated?
I think it would go for an extended period. I'm concerned that a 1:30, if it really runs, would not allow sufficient time for a one-day exam. That's all.
We'll deal with that at the time.
Fine. All right, I've got it down. Thank you.
You have any 8:30 slots for that day?
We can put it at 8:30.
We can move it until 8:30 on December 1st.
All right.
Okay, sounds good. Any additional matters for the record?
No, Judge.
Okay, Bond will continue, and we'll also have to continue the order for fingerprints at this time.
Your Honor.
You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Is Somberg present? Is someone representing Matic? Is that who Williams is? No.
Yeah, the somber town case must be co-counsel.
Oh, he's in trial this morning. That's why. Okay, Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, and you're filling in for Somberg, is that correct?
That's correct. He's in jury trial this morning.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Michonne Matic, file number 23-02218, council appearance.
Morning, LaDonna Logan on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Williams, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Michonne Matic.
Very good. Today is the date and the time that's set for a probable cause conference in this matter. This matter is currently scheduled to go to preliminary examination on August 11th, 2023 at 9 o'clock in the morning. A couple of things, and I don't know if you all have a similar discovery issue, but this is a co-defendant matter. I believe the AG intends to run along with the Henry Matic matter. Is that accurate?
That is, Your Honor. I don't believe my office received Mr. Somberg's appearance until yesterday, so I'm pretty sure he is not in possession of discovery. It is quite voluminous, and I don't know if Mr. Williams has his calendar to be able to say if October 12th would be a good date for the exam for Ms. Matic.
So that is correct, Your Honor. We do not have the discovery on that. We would request an adjournment on that. And as far as a calendar date for October, is that October 10th for the preliminary examination?
12th.
12th.
October 12th.
October 12th. As far as I know, that would be fine with Mr. Somberg. October 12th. Let me bring up what he has for me. I can contact his secretary right now to confirm, but I'm pretty sure that that date will be fine.
Okay, sounds good. Have you had a discussion with your client about a right to have a preliminary examination within 21 days?
We have, and we're willing to waive that, Your Honor. And additionally, I apologize for not bringing it up. We had a travel request that was submitted to the prosecutor. It appears they reviewed and did not object to that travel request for work at Orlando, Florida for a convention. That is, I have it in front of me. I hope the court does as well.
I do have it in my file. We're going to address the request or the need to have this exam adjourned. Ms. Matic, you have the right to have a preliminary examination within 21 days of your arraignment. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you were arraigned back on July 25th, but because your attorney recently, having filed their appearance has not served a copy of their appearance upon the Attorney General's office, and so they've not received any discovery, and there's a voluminous amount of discovery that they would need to review in preparation for your defense. Are you willing to waive the 21-day timeline so that this matter can be reset?
Yes, I am.
Okay, is anybody threatening you or promising you anything to get you to waive that timeline?
No.
Okay, so we'll reset this as well to October 12th. At 8:30 in the morning. That's in person at the court, okay?
Okay.
I do have a request for out-of-state travel here. Let's. I'll get the dates here. It's returning on August 13th. Is that accurate?
August 9th through the 13th, yes.
That request is granted. Any additional
Thank you, Your
matters for
Honor.
the record today? No problem. Any additional matters for the record today?
None for the people, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, bond in this matter will continue otherwise, and we'll see you in October. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was mine. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Takishia Culberson. File number is 23-02087. Council appearance.
Jeff Reynolds on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Ms. Culberson, who is appearing over a polycom from the jail.
Ms. Culberson, can you hear?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Very good. Today's the date and the time that's set for a probable cause conference. This matter is scheduled for preliminary examination on August 10th at 1:30. Are we continuing to examine this?
At this time, Your Honor, I believe we have worked out a plea in this matter. And that would be for Ms. Culberson on the felony file that is before the court today to plead to an added count 3 of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. And also part of that deal was that the people would dismiss counts 1 and 2, and she would also plea as charged to a misdemeanor file.
She's saying no?
I'm talking to the lady coming in now, and she was trying to see was I done.
Okay, thank you.
As a part of that plea as well was that Ms. Culberson would plea as charged in a misdemeanor file, which is before this court as well, which is scheduled, I believe, for a pretrial this coming Monday. And that would be case 23-01451 SM. And in pleading, she would plea as charged, as I stated, to the malicious destruction of property less than 200 in that case.
That is a correct statement, Your Honor.
Ms. Culberson,
Yes.
did you hear the offer stated on the record?
What was the offer?
You don't recall discussing the offer, or you want me to
Oh,
repeat
the
the offer?
P, yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you remember being offered to plead to an added count 3 in the felony file of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, and that in exchange for that, the people would dismiss counts 1 and 2. And plea is charged in file number, it says in file, but there's no file number. Is that what this is supposed to be?
Yes, did I not put
Okay.
the misdemeanor file on?
It just says in file, it doesn't put the number, okay.
I went to look it up and I.
That's
Right.
01451. Okay, and then that you would also plead guilty as charged in file number 23-01541, which is the malicious destruction of personal property, $200, and an added count 3 of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. Is that what you recall?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, and you want to accept that offer today?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Culberson, in each of these files, you enjoy the right to have a trial, and you have the right to have a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty, and you have the right to have the prosecution prove your guilt in each of the files by proving each element of each charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt at a jury trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you willing to give up your right to have a jury trial?
Yes.
You're willing to give up your right to the presumption of innocence?
Yes, yeah.
You also have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses that the prosecution intended to call to a trial. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence that you believe further a defense to the charges being brought against you. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You want to give up all of those rights as well?
Yes.
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights today?
No.
Has there been any promises made to you to get you to want to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
Is she in custody?
No.
Of this own?
On these two files, yes.
Okay. Okay. And you understand that a guilty plea in these files could result in convictions that you may need to report to either a current employer or you may need to report a conviction on a future job application. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, you also may have an impact on any travel or immigration status that you may be seeking by entering a guilty plea on this. You understand that?
Yes.
You still want to waive your rights?
Yes.
Okay. Are you entering a guilty plea? Or are you seeking to enter a guilty plea because you believe you're guilty?
Yes.
Okay, as to file number 23-02087FY, how do you plead to the added count 3 of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing?
Guilty.
On a factual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Culberson, do you remember on or about July 3rd of 2023 being at 524 North Chestnut?
Yes, I do.
And is that located in the city of Lansing, County of England, State of Michigan?
Yes.
And while you were at that location, did you come into contact with officers from the Lansing Police Department?
Yes.
And specifically, did there come a time when Officer Alexis Robertson was trying to get you into the back of a police car?
Yes.
And at that point, did you kick essentially Officer Robinson, who was trying to push you and get you into the car?
Yes.
Your Honor, I believe we have a factual basis for the attempted resisting, assaulting, or obstructing a police officer.
Any questions from the prosecution on that file?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Okay, as to file number 23-01451, Ms. Culberson, as to the charge of malicious destruction of personal property, less than $200. How do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And as to the added should be count two, not count three. The added count two of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. How do you plead?
Guilty.
I'm sorry, she's already done that one.
Yeah.
Okay, factual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Culberson, do you recall about May 8th of 2023 going to the T-Mobile store at 700 North Pine Street?
Yes, I do.
And is that located in the city of Lansing, County of Ingham, state of Michigan?
Yes.
And did there come a time when the employees of the store asked you to leave that store?
Yes.
And at that point, did you respond by essentially breaking a display case for some of the phones?
Yes,
did you do that? Did you willfully or maliciously do that?
Yes.
With the intent of breaking it?
Yes.
Okay. And that display was worth less than $200, correct?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Your Honor, I believe we have a factual basis for the charge of malicious destruction of property less than $200.
Any questions from the prosecution?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Okay, the court is satisfied with the factual basis in each file, and I'll accept your pleas. I find your pleas be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sentencing will be set September 11th at 8:30. Prior to sentencing, you need to meet with our probation department. They're gonna provide the court with a pre-sentence report and a recommendation about how you should be sentenced. Let's see. If you do bond out, you need to report to our probation office within 48 hours of your release. Do you understand that?
Yes. Can we talk about bonding?
Could you answer my questions?
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Okay, very good. Okay, and then okay, counsel, did you want to address bond?
I did, Your Honor. Your Honor, Ms. Culberson had been staying with her boyfriend on Chicago Avenue. Apparently they had a disagreement where she was no longer there and she missed the court date. She certainly apologizes for that, but apparently things are patched up there and she would be able to reside on that address on Chicago Avenue and get her mail there. She is certainly aware of the date. She has certainly taken the matter seriously and is working toward getting them resolved, as shown by her entering pleas on both of her files today. It's my understanding the bonds currently are $1,000 cash surety on the R&O case and $200 cash surety on malicious destruction. I would ask the court to consider either granting a PR bond on each of those files or dropping each one of those down to a 10% bond at this time.
Does she have a history of failing to appear?
I believe the only, I'm not sure about the misdemeanor. I believe there's only one failure to appear in the current felony file. Yeah.
All right, I have the records for the file before me.
It won't happen again, Your Honor. I promise to God. it won't.
I asked a specific question.
I'm looking at that.
You asked me a question?
No, ma'am, I'm talking to the prosecutor.
Oh.
To the best of my knowledge, Your Honor, she has failures to appear in both files. I believe it's only one in each file, though, in this matter.
I recognize that. I have the files that are before me, so I know what she's failed to appear. But your office would have information about any failures to appear in.
I have, at this point, I have no other information about any failures to appear on any prior case.
Okay, sounds good.
Sorry.
Okay, bond will be amended. Looks like she originally did post a bond, but that was forfeited. On file number 23-02087. What's your address, ma'am?
735 Chicago, Lansing, Michigan, 48915.
I'll amend your bond to 1,000 personal recognizance in the felony file, and the other file, I'll amend it to 2,000 personal recognizance. Need to make sure you're at our probation department by Monday
Yes, ma'am.
at
Thank
9:30 in
you.
the morning. You need to meet
Okay.
with them in person Monday morning, okay?
I will be there.
Okay, if you don't, they're gonna notify me, and you know what's gonna happen?
I know. I don't want that.
What's gonna happen if they notify you that you didn't come? You're gonna get a bench warrant. And then I won't amend the bond again, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
Okay, sounds good. So it doesn't look like that'll be a problem. What's your phone number?
517-303-0336.
Very good. Any additional matters for the record today, council?
Nothing for the record, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Just for clarification, Your Honor, the 1,000 PR was a misdemeanor, and the 2,000 was a felony. So I have it for.
Correct, I just converted.
Okay.
Both of them to
Yeah,
PRs.
yeah.
That's correct. Mr. Bigelow, I'm not understanding what's happening with Mr. Lewis. Is he here?
Yeah, he's in custody on bond violation on the felony. He's upstairs at LPD.
Got it, because he's not, so then he's not a felon to appear anymore. Was his attorney advised that he's here?
Yeah, I told Mr. Russell.
Mr. Austin spoke to him already? Did you speak to Mr. Lewis?
I did not.
Apparently he's in custody on a bond violation.
I didn't.
But you told me you told her. It seems surprised.
I just told you he was downstairs.
Yeah, but you said you didn't know whether he was in the county jail or the law.
He's downstairs.
He's downstairs.
Okay, so we'll get him up for you to speak to him. I'll arrange him. The bond violation's on my file,
I
correct?
didn't say on buying.
Yeah, they said he was gonna be arraigned by the magistrate this afternoon, but we could just do it while you're here.
I have spoken to Mr. Clark.
Okay, sounds good. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Miguel Suasto. File number 23-02243, council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dwayne Silverthorne from the Office of Public Defender on behalf of Miguel Suasto, who I see is appearing on screen.
Okay, and today is the date set for a probable cause conference. This matter is scheduled to go to preliminary examination on August 11th at 8:30 in the morning. Are we continuing to the preliminary examination?
I would leave that to Mr. Silver.
Yes, Your Honor, I haven't received any discovery yet, so I've been unable to, if there were going to be negotiations, they wouldn't have the factual basis that would enable me to do that till I get discovery.
Have you all received his request for discovery?
I looked in our file earlier this morning, Your Honor, and I do not see it filled out as we've received his appearance, but I will go back with our discovery department this afternoon and make sure that we get that discovery to Mr. Silver.
Very good. Okay, so we'll continue to examination at that time. If for some reason we need to adjust the timeline, Mr. Silverthorne, you'll let us know, correct?
I certainly will, Your Honor.
Okay, A bond was set at 10,000 personal recognizance with GPS tether. Mr. Suasto, you're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever the victim lives, works, or goes to school. Do you understand that?
You have to
muted, sir.
speak, Mr. Swasto.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Any questions about the bond conditions at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any additional matters for the record today?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defendant, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set.
Good day, Your Honor.
Same to you. Okay. We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Rashad Trice, file number 23-02244FY, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Danielle Russo, Assistant Attorney General on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, good morning. My name is Keith Watson. I am the Chief Public Defender for Ingham County. I appear today on behalf of Rashad Trice. He appears remotely from Newaygo County Jail, Room 3.
Thank you. And today was the date that was set for probable cause conference. This matter is scheduled for a preliminary examination. It's currently scheduled August 11th, 2023 at 9 o'clock in the morning. Are we continuing to examination and do we need to address that date?
Your Honor, I don't want to speak over Mr. Watson. We do need to address that date. We are proceeding to preliminary examination. However, Mr. Watson did get us his discovery request. Discovery is very voluminous at this point, so we're still working on downloading it all. We haven't even received it all from one of the law enforcement agencies at this point, but we're working on putting it on the best format we can so that we're not piecemealing it over to Mr. Watson, that we can get it all to him in one kind of swoop. Our best estimate, we think, at least us looking at what we know we have right now, we think it'd be safe to say that Mr. Watson might need 60 to 90 days. We'd say 90 days to be safe to at least get through everything before going to a preliminary exam, if that would be permitted by the court.
Okay. Mr. Watson, is there an objection to you having 60 to 90 days to review the discovery?
Your Honor, this is one of those situations in all practicality, I suppose, that involves the fact that this is a multi-venue case, right? That things are alleged to have taken place in multiple counties over multiple agencies. One concern that I have has to do with delay being attributable in some way to defense, and I would like to shield Mr. Trice from that. So long as this delay is something that is not attributable to Mr. Trice or to the defense, then in that case, I certainly could take no position in opposition to the request for delay, considering the volume that Ms. Bennett's had expressed.
Okay, but the request for the extension is for them to provide it and to give you sufficient opportunity to review, correct?
That's my understanding.
That is correct.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, and
Your
so
Honor,
because,
sorry,
yes.
I was just saying, with my team of prosecutors, obviously we sat down and put our dates together on our upcoming trial schedule so that we can make things as seamless in trying to pick a date today. At least 90 days out, I can at least tell the court we're pretty limited, but it looks like October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd. Those are dates that our team can put together. One additional thing I did want to ask, I think the way we're estimating on who will need to prove our case for the bind over, we might need 2 days. I'm assuming the court can't really set aside a full day for just our case. So if there's any way the court could set 2 days for us.
I could set aside a whole day.
Okay. If you could, there is the possibility we could try to get this done in 1 day, but that's of course based on availability of all our witnesses. And we're trying to do that now, but we've got 3 different county law enforcement. So that's just the only difficult part. If there is any way the court can set 2 days for us, I know that's difficult with your docket, but that would probably help to ensure we can get this done efficiently.
Okay. First, I'm going to find good cause to go beyond the 21-day timeline due to the pending discovery. And let's see, is there a date in November where we have a civil?
So October 31st is the board meeting, which is Tuesday, which will be people back and then the next day is LT returns. So if you wanted to do the 2 or if you wanted to that pre-show release on the first. On the first.
Okay, does October 31st and November 1st work?
That does work for the people, Judge. Thank you so much.
As for the defense, Your Honor, we'll be prepared. Thank you very much. I've got those dates noted.
Very good. It'll be at 8:30 in the morning at the court.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record at this time?
Not from the people. Mr. Watson will be in touch soon with all that discovery.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. Mr.
Have a good day,
Trice.
Judge.
Thank you. You too. Today, let's see. Mr. Abbott, which matter are you here for?
Nile Johnson. PCC.
Got it. Mr. Austin is on Clark, and he's not in here right now. Let's see, Mr. Goodrich.
I believe he's meeting Mr. Boggle.
Yeah,
Mr. Goodrich is there.
I need to be in a breakout room with Mr.
Okay, very good.
Bogle.
With Mr. Bogle,
Yes.
I will add him to room 3 because you're already in room 3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and you said you're here with Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On the record, she's here, it appears. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Nile Denise Johnson. File number is 23-02263. Council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. John Abbott with the Public Defender's Office representing Ms. Johnson. She appears by Zoom.
Ms. Johnson, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Today is the date and the time that's set for a probable cause conference. Ms. Johnson, your matter is scheduled for preliminary examination in person at the court on August 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Counsel, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, the people have made an offer for Ms. Johnson to plead to count 1 of police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. At that time, people would dismiss count 2 and there would be no objection to any HYTA status. However, after conversations with Mr. Abbott, I'm not sure if he's had a chance to discuss that with his client yet, so I would leave it to the defense.
Mr. Abbott.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's the offer that he told me about yesterday or the day before. I have not discussed that with Ms. Johnson at this point. And if we make any progress towards resolving it short of a preliminary exam, I'll be sure to inform the prosecutor before next week.
Sounds good. Okay, so Ms. Johnson, you'll appear in person next week for your exam, August 11th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
In the meantime, you'll have a conversation. Are you okay? You're holding your head.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. In the meantime, you'll be able to talk to your attorney. I don't know if she's still there. You'll be able to talk to your attorney about the offer that's been extended. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. A bond in this matter is set at 1,000 personal recognizance. That will continue. How are we gonna, any additional matters before we adjourn at this time?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense. Thank you.
Okay, you're all set, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. And we're waiting for attorneys on board to come back. Lewis is downstairs. Let me see. That's Lewis. And then, Mr. Austin, you're on Clark.
Yes.
We're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Timothy Michael Clark, file number 23-01118, council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And good morning, Your Honor. Jared Austin appearing on behalf of Mr. Clark, filling in for counsel of record, Mr. Feigelson. Mr. Clark appears with us today remotely from the Ingham County Jail.
Very good. And Mr. Clark, you can hear us? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, today's the date set for a probable cause conference. This matter is scheduled to go to preliminary examination August 11th at 8:30. Are we continuing to exam?
That is my understanding, Your Honor. We'll be leaving this on for exam.
That is my understanding as well, Your Honor, that we will continue the matter for the hearing next week.
Okay, very good. So we'll continue for exam in person next week. Mr. Clark, do you have any questions today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, bond was set at 25,000 cash surety with GPS tether and a victim exclusion zone. That will continue. Any additional matters at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people would move for the court to revoke Mr. Clark's communication privileges out of the Ingham County Jail. After doing a search of the jail call logs, the people have found 37 contacts between the victim in this matter, who is Miss Angelique Tingerina, and Mr. Clark. The latest being on August 3rd of 2023. And some of those are from different accounts. I have a printout of the call logs if the court would like to see it.
Okay, you provided that information. to
Yes.
the defense counsel.
Yes, I've shown that information and also provided 2 of the phone calls to Mr. Austin to show that it is the same individuals on the phone calls.
Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Your Honor. My position is, Your Honor, is that I think it'd be premature at this time to take any action on Mr. Clark's phone privileges. The reason being, as Mr. Brodowitz stated, my understanding that most, if not all of these calls are from some other account other than Mr. Clark. Now, they believe that to be Mr. Clark, but I think the proper route to go would be to have a detective investigate that and prepare a report and to see if there is some causal link that they can establish that that is indeed Mr. Clark talking to anyone he is prohibited from talking to. And regardless, Your Honor, the matter is being left on for the preliminary hearing next week. One way or the other, I anticipate this will be the subject matter in some regard to that hearing. Either the people would be moving to potentially add some sort of bond or PA 53 violation and or seek to add charges in relation to those calls. So I think if there's going to be any action taken on Mr. Clark's communication privileges, I think we should wait until that report comes in and it's going to be addressed next week. And then the court can take whatever action it feels appropriate based on the proofs that have been presented. But just based on these allegations at this point, I would ask that the court not take any action on Mr. Clark at this time.
You said the phone calls were from whose accounts?
The phone calls between July 22nd, 2023 and up until July 31st were mainly from Mr. Timothy Clark's account.
No, so we do have calls from his account.
Yes,
So-
his account, and
so
then between.
We're gonna set it for a bond violation. I'm gonna arraign him today.
And then if the court would like to know, between July 28th and August 3rd, there have been calls to the same number that Mr. Clark was calling from the accounts of inmate Frank Moore, Timothy Eldred, Alejandro Martinez, Sherrod Nelson, and Raynell Powell. Yes, those were the other accounts, Your Honor. And in one of those, which I played from a portion for Mr. Austin from August 3rd, from the account of Alejandro Martinez, it appeared it is the same voices on the call as one of the initial calls. I believe it was from July 23rd between Mr. Clark and the victim in this matter.
No, sounds good. So, Mr. Clark, you were arraigned on July 22nd, 2023 by Magistrate Milmore. She put in place for the protection of the alleged victim a no contact order. You were advised that you were not to have contact directly or indirectly, nor could you have third-party contact or cause anyone to have third-party contact with an Angelique Tijerina. So the allegation of the prosecution is that you violated that while in the custody of the jail and that they have the records. They'll get an investigator to further investigate that. But at this time, there are allegations of 37 violations to that. And so violation of your bond condition, sir, that is a contempt of court order. So you have the right to have a contested hearing. If I find that you have violated your bond at that hearing, You are subject to contempt of court, which is a penalty of maximum 93 days in jail or up to $7,500 in fines. You understand that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he pleading not guilty at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just ask that the hearing be set for the same time as the preliminary hearing next week.
Very good. Okay, so I've arraigned him on the bond violation so that we can proceed on a hearing at the same time of the preliminary examination. I will suspend his phone privileges pending that hearing.
So you mean my privileges are gone now? And
That's precisely what I mean. Like as of today, immediately, effective immediately, you have no phone privileges until a time of the hearing, because there's an allegation of 37 violations.
This is fucking.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, and I need to understand why, how is it a bond violation and I'm not on no bond? I'm incarcerated.
If you don't understand what that means, I'll let you talk further with your attorney. Your bond was issued. Just because you haven't been able to post the bond because you don't have $25,000 doesn't mean that you're not under bond and court orders. There's a no contact order. The no contact was part of your bond conditions. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly, whether you are outside of the jail or inside of the jail, whether you're on Mars or Pluto or Jupiter. You're not to have contact directly or
How do I
indirectly.
contact my children? How do I talk to my children?
That's neither my concern or what I'm addressing. If you want to figure out how to contact your are you gonna talk over me? If you want to figure out how to contact your children and your children are with the person that you have a no contact order, you have to go to the family court. This is not the family court. I'm not making any orders about you making contact with children here, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wonderful. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all set, sir.
Crazy, man. I'm done.
Mr. Trice is still waiting for someone to get him. Is that correct? Mr. Trice, no, were you able to get in contact with a deputy over there? Okay, I don't know if he's frozen or if he's mute, so we'll put him in the waiting room. Okay. Who is this here?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Goodrich, you're ready with Boggle?
Yes.
Is it, anybody seen Anitris Morris?
That, Your Honor, I believe in my I had a phone conversation with Mr. Feigleson yesterday. In that conversation, I believe she is currently in a mental health facility. I do not remember, I don't believe Feigleson stated which one. I informed Mr. Austin of this. I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to him about that, but he was working on getting paperwork for that.
I did review the notes in the file for that, Your Honor, and it comports to what Mr. Brodowitz stated, that Mr. Feigleson had contact stating that Ms. Morris was in the hospital for mental health treatment, and he will work on getting that necessary verification.
So what I'll do at this time is we'll continue to PE, we'll treat it as another probable cause conference and hopefully have additional information by that time. Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua James Boggle, file number is 23-02248. Council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Bogle.
Mr. Bogle, how do you spell your last name?
It's B as in boy, O-G-L-E.
Okay, because you put two E's on your Zoom, so I didn't know if we had it wrong. Okay,
No, I
very good.
apologize. No, that's I
Okay.
hit the button.
Okay, no worries. We have it correct in the system then.
Thank you.
Okay, today's the date set for probable cause conference. This matter is scheduled to proceed to preliminary examination August 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Are we continuing to exam, counsel?
At this time, Your Honor, the people have made an offer for the defendant to plea or plea to a count 2 of domestic violence with 76948 if eligible. I do not believe at this point Mr. Goodrich had a chance to talk to Mr. Boggle, so I would leave it to Mr. Goodrich to see how we are proceeding today.
Yes, Your Honor, I did go over that offer with Mr. Vogel, and at this time, we'd like to leave the matter set for preliminary exam next week.
Okay, very good. So we'll continue to exam. Bond was set at 1,000 personal recognizance. There is a no contact order. And you're not to be within 1,000 feet of where the alleged victim lives. Are we having any issues with bond at this time?
Not from the people, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, bond will continue. Any additional matters for the record?
Just one brief, just so it's on the record, Your Honor. I believe when this initial complaint was filed, there was an issue, I believe it was with the police report number. I'm looking at our notes to verify. Yes, there was an issue with the police report number. However, this morning I did file an amended complaint with the 54A clerk here with that correct police report number.
Okay, very good. Any additional matters from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, Mr. Vogel.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm just really not quite sure. Got it. Where does this already go? Oh, is there? On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Aaron Jesse Lewis, file number 23-02242. Council appearance.
Jeff Robbins on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
And good morning, Your Honor. Jared Austin, appearing on behalf of Mr. Lewis. Filling counsel of record, Mr. Feitelson. Mr. Lewis is present, standing at my right.
Okay, how are you, Mr. Lewis?
No, thank you.
You said not that good? I can imagine. You were supposed to be here this morning at 8:30 for a probable cause conference. We originally thought that you had failed to appear, and then we get notice that you actually were in custody, waiting to be arraigned on a bond violation. So I do have a police report that's case number 23519073773. And the allegation, sir, is that you violated the terms and conditions of your bond, and that there are some new charges that are pending, possibly for attempted carjacking, unlawful driving away of an automobile, and a reckless driving. So while on bond, one of your bond conditions was that you were not to commit any crimes or pick up any new charges. Let's see here. Also, you were not to use any illegal substances. And the understanding per this police report is that you admitted it to the staff at the time of booking that you have been using heroin daily. And well, now's not the time to speak. Now's definitely the time to remain silent.
Sorry.
Okay, detention staff also alleged that you advised that you actively displayed signs of being under the influence of narcotics, including erratic behavior, inability to settle down, or sleep, or lack of awareness. And so you have the right to have, there's also an allegation that you made threats that you had a firearm. However, officers were unable to locate said firearm. So you have the right to have a contested hearing on the bond violations. And you have the right to be represented by an attorney, which you are represented by Mr. Austin in the underlying offense. At the time of the hearing, if you're found to be in violation of the bond conditions as they were set, your bond can be revoked and you could be remanded to the custody of the jail pending the underlying matter, or you could be found in contempt of a court order by violating your bond, and you could face a penalty of 92 days in jail and or up to $7,500 in fines. Do you understand that, sir? Okay, is he pleading not guilty to the violation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll enter a not guilty plea as to the violation. We'll set that for a hearing. Right now, you're going to continue to examine, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll set it for a hearing the same time of the exam, and that's August 11th at 8:30. Okay. Continue to exam bond, and this matter was originally set at 3,000 personal recognizance. I believe that there's a new charge that's to be issued. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I am going to address this bond. Did you want to respond on bond?
Well, Your Honor, I think it's likely that Mr. Lewis is going to be arraigned shortly on these new charges. I mean, I don't foresee him getting a PR bond on that. What I would ask the court to do, Your Honor, it appears he's probably going to be in custody for a while. If he has a PR bond on this, he's not going to be getting credit if he's going to be in custody. So I would ask that the court would perhaps modify that to a 10% bond just so he can accrue credit. And if the bond on this file and the new file needs to be addressed at some later point, we can do that. But I would think that would probably be in Mr. Lewis's best interest, so he can at least prove jail credit on this case if he's going to be in custody, which it appears he's likely.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, you were ordered to test 3 times randomly during bond. Have you been doing that?
No, my paperwork, the paperwork I have with that box is not checked. There's no information on where I'm supposed to drop or anything like that.
Okay, and so you contacted pre-trial services and notified them of that?
No.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Because it's not even clicked on it where it says the bond things I'm supposed to do for bond. None of that's, it doesn't check anything. It says don't use drugs or anything like that on my paperwork.
I don't know how your bond paperwork says that, because ours says otherwise.
I got copies of the one on my phones.
Okay, well, we'll amend it, make sure you get a new one, because I'm gonna amend your bond at 3,000 cash surety with random testing 3 times a month. Well, you can, if you don't postpone, we'll get you screened for some treatment, okay? Okay, any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, sir. Thank you. Did he get his notice to appear, Mr. Bigelow? This is just our files?
That's just.
Okay, he got one though? Mr. Goodrich, you give that to. Thank you. Okay, I think that's everybody.